Services, Mrs. Mary Mudhuni, nominated Senator Honorable Gloria Orwaba, the Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons, Florence Omondi, Anne Ireri, CEO FIDA, Anastasia Kimtai, Managing Director, KCB Kenya, the lovely Langata Prisons community. Women's Day, which was designated by United Nations in 1975. The theme for this year's celebration is we are here to also relaunch Cross Stitch International, whose name has since changed to Carakana. Before I proceed, allow me to convey greetings from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Our partnership with Langata Women's Prison started on 19th December 2016, when we came here to launch Cross Stitch after the Prisons Department requested that my office take table banking to the women in prisons. Just to explain a little bit, like Anne said, my daughter got the information that would bring Cross Stitch to the women behind bars. But after discussing with her and talking to the prison department that time, we realized that table banking would not work. So we thought that would bring Cross Stitch, which we did in 2016. Our visit reminds me of various scriptures that describe our activities here. Matthew 25:36, I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Hebrews 13:3, continue to remember those in prison as if you were together with them in prison, and those who were mistreated as if you yourselves were suffering. I love the scriptures because they give us practical advice and solutions for every situation. As Christians, we are called to be hearers and doers of the word. This is why, for me, Carakana project is very close to my heart, as it speaks to my commitment to do what God requires of me. Since 2016, Carakana project has trained over 1,500 women who have produced quality artifacts that have earned them 5.15 million Kenya shillings. Cross-stitching is a source of hope for the women in prison. It gives them dignity, a livelihood, respect from family, and a feeling of achievement. This also contributes to mental well-being and an income-generating indigenous skill. Other benefits of cross-stitch include an improvement in cognitive, emotional, and social well-being. It is therapeutic with a neurochemical effect on the brain. By decreasing stress hormones, it is relaxing, keeps one busy, and gives a sense of accomplishment. Our relaunch today is two ways: to increase the number of beneficiaries in the 5 women prisons we are already working with. That is Langata, Nakuru, Shimolatewa, Kakamega, and Kitale women prisons. And second, to grow our reach to all the 44 women prisons in the country, holding a total of 6,000 women. We want to expand Carakana, thank you. We want to expand Carakana offering to include other forms of creative art like crochet, bead making, basketry, needlework, knitting, and more, just like I've seen when I did my tour in the workshops. We encourage each one of you to take up one of these creative arts. Ladies and gentlemen, when you think about life as a journey, a stitch can mean an event in our path of life. Cross-stitching is a reminder there is a bigger picture, that all the elements of our experiences are just part of a whole beautiful composition. And I thought just demonstrate a little bit about cross stitch for some of us maybe that are not very familiar with the cross stitch. So when you look at this piece of cross stitch, thank you, Maureen. This is how let me just do this. This is how the piece of cross stitch comes. Thank you, PS. So put it this way. I'm sure you can see that. This is the original piece that comes, and I must say that cross stitch has been simplified these days. The days when we did cross stitch, when I was in my 20s, it just used to be on a white fabric. So you had to translate from a pattern and bring it to this. I mean, it was very difficult. One of the biggest project that I did that time was the Psalms 23, which had 60 different colors of thread. I remember it took me 6 months of committing at least 3 to 4 hours every day of doing it. And I just didn't do it once. That is what I shared with the women when I came. I just didn't do it once. I did it actually twice. So you can see the commitment. So when you look at this, it almost looks like nothing. I don't know, maybe because the yellow is so much, you can see what it is. But the ladies, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. So you put the right threads, as you see there. And then once you finish, this piece of material that has so many colors becomes this. And so what happens, because it is they've used water paints, you know, the yellow and the green and the whatever colors you see there are actually water paints. So once you convert and put the right colors, like it was yellow on the other side. Maureen, just hold that for a minute, please. You can see, I'll just use the big part that you see. You see the yellow, isn't it? So in the yellow, you put black color of thread. You can see. And those are the colors of thread. And so once you have finished the work, that would take maybe even up to 3 months of putting like 2 hours every day. Yeah, and I know our sisters are here and they know what it means to do this. So you wash it clean, and then we do value addition like what you see in this frame. So we translate it from that is formless, that you cannot even understand where, you know, whether it is A or B or what. You do it patiently, wash it, and we do value addition. Thank you so much, PS and Maureen. And just to say that as I encourage our sisters behind bars today, you are in prison today, aren't you? While you're doing cross-stitch, you do participation. I know that many of the projects that we have brought to you, you have not done it alone. You have done with your sisters. And then you see the process that I like the testimonies that we've received from some of you that you have learned that it's not good to take shortcuts. If you do a shortcut with that cross stitch, like instead of putting black, you put green, and then that product will not come like that. And even just learning here that the things that have brought us here sometimes have been shortcuts, that in life we need to go through a process. You see the progress from the beginning to the end. And while doing this, you have to persevere. There is a lot of perseverance. And you really have to, you know, be patient, because it will not take you just a few months to do that kind of thing. And also the benefit that we have seen, as we've said, is that there is providence. You know, the money that you get from cross-stitching has been able to help you, at least help your children. And usually we say that even if we do this and we don't involve God, it is all in vain. So prayer is very critical. And even this is relevant to everybody, each one of us, not just our clients or our sisters, but each one of us, we need to be patient. We need to progress in what we are doing. We need to involve God. We need to be persevering people in everything that we are doing. So I just want to say that you're here today. You are that original piece that has not been washed. But let's pick the lessons that we are learning here, that the day the Lord enables us to leave these gates, we can be different people and we can transform our communities even as we go back to the communities. And I believe that that day is coming. I want to encourage you never to lose hope. We need to be resilient, like our senator has told us. Never look down, never give up, never cry inside that blanket thinking that life will not add up to anything. I just want to promise you, I have met your sisters that did cross-stitch and they walked out of this gate one day. I want to say that someday you'll get out of this gate because the prison people have done a good job. So I thought I would just explain how the process takes place. I wish to thank all the stakeholders who have actually participated to make today's event a success. Langata Women Prison Community for your dedication to this partnership. KCB Group, FIDA, who have provided legal clinics, and AAR for the medical consultation services. With those few remarks, I officially relaunch Carakana project. Thank you so much, and may the Lord bless you.
Thank you so much. Let's continue appreciating our Excellency kindly. Asante sana. We want to give it back to the